Why Wolff said about replacing Hamilton. Another yet frustrating day in 2022. Toto Wolff supported Lewis Hamilton while denouncing Fernando Alonso's hold-up in the Monaco GP and saying that the 7-time champion and George Russell are very much on the same page. Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will be talking about why Wolff mentioned replacing Hamilton. The most successful driver in Formula 1, Hamilton finished only 8th in the chaotic, rainy and dry Monte Carlo race on Sunday. For the 6th straight race, Hamilton trailed his young teammate George Russell. Hamilton was initially irritated by Esteban Ocon's Alpine, which received a penalty for colliding with a Mercedes, and then by Alonso, who gradually held Hamilton up through the congested streets. Because of his pace, he might have been right there and close to Lando Norris, or perhaps engaged in combat with George in 5th place and Lando in the lead, Wolff claimed later. In addition to losing many points due to the safety cars thus far in 2022, Hamilton's Monaco GP weekend was marred by a red flag in qualifying and then the Alpines in the race. Lewis had some rough patches today, including being delayed behind Fernando, making contact with Esteban and receiving a red light in qualifying the day before. Lewis is very much on the same pace as the pendulum. Therefore, I believe it will swing the other way and this unfortunate scenario will end. Max Verstappen is now ahead of Hamilton by 75 points in the driving standings. I apologize that I haven't brought you any fantastic results this year, but I won't give up. Hamilton wrote in a message to his fans on his Instagram stories. We both succeed and fail together. After the red light, Hamilton continued the race behind Alonso but was unable to pass the Alpine because he was driving slowly on purpose and passing was challenging in the Principality. Alonso finished 34 seconds behind Lando Norris and was over 4 seconds slower than the car's head. Mercedes' view. Despite the extra pit stop for the McLaren, Wolff alleged that Alonso was a Formula 2 driver and suggested that Monaco could have to adapt. The Mercedes executive stated, "I think Monaco is what we need to look at. It's a shame for the race here if a car can slow down by over 5 seconds and hold everyone up. So perhaps we can consider the course layout and other options to avoid having a procession, a strategy game or a qualification race." You can see that there is much more to learn. In Monaco, the position on the circuit is crucial. A Formula 2 car could do it in 5 seconds. It's always nice to come here because this place is such a spectacle and a fantastic location. But I believe that the layout needs to be adjusted so that you can still not complete the circle even if you close it 5 seconds more slowly. "What is the point of letting it consume me?" Hamilton asked while expressing his frustration. "There is nothing I can do to change the situation. It is what it is. We'll all try again at the following event since I'll be back at the factory." After a strong performance in the Spanish Grand Prix, Mercedes fell far behind Ferrari and Red Bull in Monaco, and their W3 was once again bouncing. Albeit this time it was supposed to be because of the uneven track rather than their poor-poised floor. Hamilton's remarks. Looking ahead to the upcoming race in Azerbaijan, Hamilton stated, "I'm hoping that the car doesn't feel like it does here because here, it has felt like the worst it has thus far with the bumps. My jaw was moving and my teeth were chattering. I've had enough of the shaking. Ours is so rigid that the suspension is forcing it downwards. I hope it's not as bumpy as this because I'm looking forward to more open terrain." Wolff acknowledged that Monaco offered the struggling world champions further lessons. "I don't want anything for the gifted right now," he continued. "Because we're only 3rd on the road, we should be in 5th and 6th place. We do not want to be here because of this. If you inherit a podium, it's great and beneficial for the points over the long term, but I don't want any of it. I want to be in the lead, and this will be one of the key lessons we take away from this experience and cornerstone of our future sustained performance. This season, George Russell has been the most reliable driver, placing in the top 5 every race. It's a pace that Lewis Hamilton is finding difficult to match right now, and Toto Wolff will be questioned about those comparisons. However, he's quick to dismiss the possibility that Russell could be given priority over Hamilton if Mercedes manages to re-enter this championship race, as their performance in Spain last weekend suggested they might, and they need to recover every point they can. To support whoever is ahead in the Drivers' Championship, they decide to enforce team instructions on their drivers. Wolff, however, is adamant that both drivers will receive equal opportunity. Wolff is adamant that they will be allowed to race. "We won't make such a call until a driver is logically eliminated from the competition." Wolff's remarks. Wolff said it wouldn't make a difference if Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, had been in the lead. "The Constructors' Championship, in my opinion, then takes precedence." However, Wolff believes this group has made a turn for the better. After ruling his team out of the title race a month ago following finishes of the 5th and 8th in Monaco, Wolff declared his team was back in the title race after Russell finished 3rd in Barcelona, and Hamilton rode through the field from 19th to 5th in what Wolff described as the fastest car in the race. One may argue that Wolff was a touch hasty when he said they were back in the race. He is adamant, though, that he still thinks they stand a chance. You see, I'm fundamentally pessimistic. I see the glass as being half empty rather than half full. However, Barcelona was the first place where I witnessed a car and driving performance like in the previous years. We became stranded in no man's land when you look at Imola, making it impossible for us to pass. Lewis finished 4th in Spain despite being almost 30 seconds slower than the final car on the field. In other words, that is a race-winning vehicle. One could argue that Lewis Hamilton's troubles this year are somewhat a result of the disappointment he experienced on the last day of the previous campaign in Abu Dhabi. Wolff also believes that Hamilton will never get over the harsh way in which his record-tying 8th World Championship was taken from him in Abu Dhabi last year due to a tardy safety car and a loose interpretation of the rules. Wolff acknowledges that Hamilton's early season struggles were likely influenced by that event. He says, I had dinner with a coach from Juventus yesterday, Massimiliano Allegri. He then said, none of us can believe what happened to you in Abu Dhabi. To start the dialogue, neither can we to that. It still seems so strange, and that's what will stick with Lewis forever because in essence he claimed an 8th world title. He then finds himself in a difficult situation and driving the car into pain. Lewis responds by saying 4 months ago I competed for the world championship in a superb car and now the car is undrivable. And now your expectations must also be recalibrated, but I believe he already has that. Lewis Hamilton's future in the sport will always be a subject of speculation given his history and present troubles. But there have also recently been discussions over Toto Wolff's future. Wolff acknowledged in an interview from earlier this year that he had experienced bouts of depression and had spent more than 500 hours in treatment since 2004. Even more, he acknowledged that he's actively looking for a successor to serve as a team principal. I'm running for says Wolff, which owns a third of Mercedes F1 and is contracted to keep me on as team principal and chief executive at least through the end of the following year with all of my motivation. When I have challenges to solve, I truly have a great sense of equilibrium. Contentment is not good for me. Being bored is not good. The bad thing is Groundhog Day. 2020 is the year I truly start to struggle. I was just terrible. Vet didn't help, but at the moment it was vital to think back. Do I fit here? Do I want to carry on in this manner till my business comes to an end? Life, I ultimately realized that I adore this sport. I enjoy competition, I adore the stopwatch objectivity. I therefore found it difficult to believe what was occurring in Abu Dhabi. But this group is mine. I'm a third shareholder, he continues. I'm not looking to sell it. It should be handled by an executive in my opinion. I might discover a team principal who is superior to me. I wish I could find someone who would be a good fit for the company. It doesn't necessarily matter if I believe someone to be intelligent or to have a grasp of the sport. Additionally, it must fit in with the group because if you are paranoid and shoot someone who is not regarded by the group, he will suffer. I haven't located anyone yet. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix will continue the season on June 12th. That is all for this video. We will be back soon with another informative video. See you soon.